Bonjour tout le monde. Welcome back to the French time. So today we will be seeing the lesson 4. So previous classes we were finishing the lesson 3 and the opposites, right? So we finished the opposites of lesson 1, 2 and 3. And so today we'll be starting the lesson 4, so which is un dîner en famille, right? Un dîner en famille, which means a family time dinner, okay? And so this lesson, it's not as big as the third one, so it's quite small and normal, but we got three big dialogues. Okay, so three big dialogues and some 10 or 15 exercises. And so the grammar will be having some irregular verbs that we already saw in the previous years. In 7th standard we would have learnt all these verbs, and in 8th standard we revised. And so in this year we'll be saying these verbs. So we'll start with the verbs you can see in the slide, and then we'll go for future proche. Okay, so future proche, as you know, we conjugate the verb aller, and then we add the infinitive form. Then we'll be having imperative. So imperative, it's actually the imperative form. So when you give orders, or when you give when you demand, okay, so when you give when it's a request or a demand or an order, so we use imperative. And so then we'll be saying les articles partitifs. Les articles partitifs, which means to precise a quantity. Okay, so with un, win, des, or du, de, la, de, l'apostrophe and des, and so on. So now we'll start with the slide. Yeah, so merci beaucoup. And so same way, so please copy the verbs, okay, so which you're going to see now. So we got around 8 verbs, I think. Okay, so 10 verbs. Okay, so those verbs, so please copy it in your notebook. You know to copyright, you know it better. So please copy it neatly, and then we'll go for the translation or the exercises. Yeah. So merci beaucoup.
So here we go. Un dîner en famille, lesson 4. The contents, okay, as you saw the verbs, okay, the verbs will be saying some 10-11 verbs, okay, imperatif, les articles partitifs, le futur proche. And here we go with the verbs, okay, we start with the verbs, manger, aller, aimer, finir. Okay, so manger, as you know, it's a GER ending verb. So when you got a GER ending verb, so you'll be having nous mangeons, okay, you'll be adding e. Okay, so before the ending, okay, so that will pronounce as nous mangeons. Yeah, so je mange, tu manges, il mange, elle mange, on mange, nous mangeons, vous mangez, il mange, elle mange. Right? Okay, so the verb manger, so it's normally ER ending verb, but just for the GER form, so we add an E here. Okay, so je mange de la glace. Okay, je mange une glace, ou je mange une pizza, je mange une pomme, right? So and so on. So it means I eat, okay, or I am eating. So this one, it's actually the verb aller. So the verb aller is as important as the verb avoir or être, because this verb will be used in future proche. Okay, so je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, on va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, elles vont. Right? So the verb aller. So if you're conjugating this in present tense, then it will be like je vais à la plage, je vais à l'école, je vais au travail. Okay? Or even the expression je vais bien. Okay, je vais bien. Comment allez-vous? Comment ça va? Okay, so all these will be using the verb aller, right? So, and it's an exception. Okay, so we don't conjugate like a normal er ending verb, right? And so if you're using the verb aller and an infinitive, okay, so for example, je vais manger. Okay, if you use the infinitive, then it's actually future proche. Okay, je vais finir. Okay, I'm going to finish. So that way. And here we got the verb aimer. Okay, aimer, which means to like or to love. J'aime, tu aimes, il aime, elle aime, on aime, nous aimons, vous aimez, ils aiment, elles aiment. Right? So the pronunciation will be a bit different. Okay, so here the infinitive form will be having the sound of a, but when you start conjugating, you'll be having the sound of a. J'aime. Okay, just for nous and vous, you'll be having the sound of a, right? So aimer, to like or to love. Donc j'aime Pondichéry, right? Donc j'aime la France, right? J'aime l'acteur Ajit Kumar, right? And so on. Or even you can use a verb next to this, okay, an infinitive form. J'aime jouer, okay, j'aime jouer, which means I like to play, right? So this is actually the verb aimer. And here we got the verb finir, which is a second group verb which ends with IR. And the endings of an IR ending verb, you know, so IS, IS, IT, IT, IESSONS, IESSEZ, IESSENT. Okay, so normally for the verbs like obéir, remplir, okay, so we conjugate the same way. Je finis, tu finis, il finit, elle finit, on finit, nous finissons, vous finissez, ils finissent, elles finissent. Okay? So, par exemple, je finis mon travail. Okay, je finis le devoir. So likewise, okay, so fini is to finish or to complete, to end. Okay. Donc voilà. So now the next four words are savoir, connaître, prendre, and sortir. Okay, so, and so we got an exercise with savoir and connaître. Okay, in this lesson, we'll see at the last. So both verbs means to know. Savoir means to know. Connaître means to know. Okay, we'll see the difference. So first we'll see the conjugation, the pronunciation. Savoir, je sais, tu sais, il sait, elle sait, on sait, nous savons, vous savez, ils savent, elles savent. Right? So the verb savoir is mostly used for saying an action that you know. Okay, so mostly the verb follows by an infinitive. Okay, for example, je sais nager, je sais compter. Okay, donc voilà, je sais chanter, je sais danser. Okay, so those things will be using the verb savoir. And connaître will be used for nouns. Okay, so before a noun you'll be using connaître. For person, for places, okay, we'll be using the verb connaître. Je connais, tu connais, il connaît, elle connaît, on connaît, nous connaissons, vous connaissez, ils connaissent, elles connaissent. Oui. So the verb connaître, okay, for example, je connais la France. Okay, je connais the Dumbo, Fran. Okay, donc je connais Enoch. Right, so and so on. Okay, so for a person or for a place, we use the verb connaître. Okay, and for an action, we can use the verb savoir. Right. So now we'll come to the verb prendre. So prendre, which means to take. Okay, so the verb prendre, okay, so we'll be conjugating the verb apprendre and comprendre the same way as prendre. Okay, so je prends, tu prends, il prend, elle prend, on prend, nous prenons, vous prenez, ils prennent, elles prennent. Okay, so prendre, which means to take. Je prends le petit déjeuner. Oui, je prends le déjeuner. Je prends le dîner. Oui, donc je prends mon cahier. Okay, so and so on. So we'll be using the verb prendre. And also in this lesson, the verb prendre plays an important role in the exercise with article partitif. Okay, par exemple, je prends de l'eau, je prends du pain. Okay, je prends des nanes. Okay, je prends des rôtis. Okay, and so on. So in order to order in a restaurant, we can use the verb prendre, right? And so the verb sortir, you know this, so which means to go out. Sortir, to go out. Je sors, tu sors, il sort, elle sort, on sort, nous sortons, vous sortez, ils sortent, elles sortent. Okay, so sortir, which means to go out. Okay, so je sors avec mes amis. Okay, je sors avec mes amis. Okay, so I go out with my friends. Okay, so je ne sors pas parce qu'il pleut. Okay, for example, je ne sors pas en négation parce qu'il pleut, because it rains. Right? So likewise, so j'aime sortir even. So when you conjugate this verb in the second form in a sentence, that's the second verb. So we don't conjugate. J'aime sortir avec mes amis. Likewise. So now we'll go for the last three verbs. So the verb pouvoir, vouloir, écrire. Right? So pouvoir, which means can or able to. Okay, as a verb, this means can or able to. But when you got this as a noun, le pouvoir, which means the power. Okay, the power. Okay, je peux, tu peux, il peut, elle peut, on peut, nous pouvons, vous pouvez, ils peuvent, elles peuvent. Okay, so je peux chanter, je peux danser, je peux travailler. Okay, je peux jouer. So mostly the verb pouvoir and vouloir will be followed by an infinitive of a verb. Okay, so je peux sortir. Okay, so for asking permission, you can ask, okay, est-ce que je peux entrer? Okay, so est-ce que je peux écrire? Can I write? Right, and so on. So vouloir, which means want. Je veux, tu veux, il veut, elle veut, on veut. Nous voulons, vous voulez, ils veulent, elles veulent. Okay, so if you see, these two verbs will be a bit similar. So you got the same endings. Okay, so you'll be having the same endings. So if wherever you got P, okay, so we will be replacing with B. Wherever you got V, we'll be replacing with L. Okay, so that's actually the these two verbs. And so vouloir, so for example, je veux sortir. Okay, I want to go out. Okay, je veux écrire. Right, donc je veux me reposer. Okay, je veux me reposer. I want to take rest. Right, donc and so on. So as I told you, so mostly we'll be using an infinitive form of a verb after the verb vouloir and pouvoir. So here we got the verb écrire. Okay, so écrire, which means to write. Okay, so j'écris, tu écris, il écrit, elle écrit, on écrit, nous écrivons, vous écrivez, ils écrivent, elles écrivent. Okay, so écrire, to write. Okay, so j'écris un message. J'écris une lettre. Okay, so par exemple, okay, j'écris un message, j'écris une lettre. Okay, so which means I write a message, I write a letter. Okay, so for those things you can say the verb écrire, can use the verb écrire. Right? So now we'll see the exercise. Okay, the exercise number 1. So you just got to conjugate the verbs which are given in the bracket. Okay, and in present tense. Okay, here it's given. Mettez les verbes au présent de l'indicatif. Right? So you got 5 sentences. So the first sentence, elle vouloir sortir le soir. So which means she dash the evening. Okay, the verb given in the bracket is vouloir sortir. So do not forget, so when you got two verbs, okay, so the second verb won't be conjugated. Okay, you don't conjugate the second verb. Okay, so it will be the same, it remains in the infinitive form itself. Okay, so we'll be conjugating the verb vouloir in present tense. Okay, for the subject elle. So it's elle veut. Okay, elle veut sortir le soir. Okay, so elle veut, V-E-U-T. Elle veut sortir le soir. Okay, she wants to go out the evening. Right, so second one, nous manger, the verb given in the bracket is manger, souvent au restaurant. So the sentence is we often eat in the restaurant. Okay, so the verb manger is given, as we saw already the conjugation, it's a GER ending verb. And so for nous, obviously we'll be adding a, O-N-S with the radical. So nous mangeons souvent au restaurant. Right? Nous mangeons souvent au restaurant. So we often eat at the restaurant. Right? So now actually the third one, it's the verb savoir is given. So anyway, the second verb we don't conjugate. Okay, so écrire, which means to write. Okay, so as I told you, the verb savoir will be conjugated before an infinitive form of a verb. Okay, so you can't use connaître here. Okay, if you would like to say they know to write. they know to write. Okay, so they know how to write. Okay, so ils savent écrire. Okay, ils savent écrire. S-A-V-E-N-T. Ils savent écrire. Okay, so they know to write. They know how to write. Right? So no need to add comma. Okay, ils savent comment écrire. No need to write. So I can straight away write the verb in infinitive form. So they. So the D1. Tu allais prendre ton petit déjeuner. So here you got two verbs, and the first verb is aller, and second one it's actually an infinitive form. So if you conjugate the verb aller, so it's actually futur proche. Tu vas prendre ton petit déjeuner. Tu vas, V-A-S, V-A-S. Prendre will remain the same. Tu vas prendre ton petit déjeuner. So which means you are going to take your breakfast. Right? So and the last one, vous écrire une lettre. Okay, so écrire should be conjugated for vous. Vous écrivez une lettre. Okay, E accent aigu, C R I V E Z. Okay, so vous écrivez une lettre. Okay, so you are writing a letter. You are writing a letter. Right. So now we'll check the answers. So here, elle veut sortir le soir. Nous mangeons souvent au restaurant. Ils savent écrire. Tu vas prendre ton petit déjeuner. Vous écrivez une lettre. Yeah. So now we'll go to the exercise. Okay, connaître ou savoir. So this is normally the second exercise. Okay, it's not the first one. Okay, the second exercise is actually connaître ou savoir. Okay, so you got 5 sentences. So tu dash la tour Eiffel. Okay, so tu dash la tour Eiffel. Okay, so if you see, you got to use the verb connaître or savoir. So just check the word after the dash. You got a verb or a noun. So it's actually a noun. Okay, la tour Eiffel. So it's the Eiffel Tower. Okay, so the Eiffel Tower or the Eiffel Tower. Okay, so tu dash la tour Eiffel. So we'll be using the verb connaître because it's actually a place. Okay, and it's actually a noun. So we use the verb connaître. Tu connais. Okay, tu connais. C-O-N-N-A-I-S. Okay, C-O-N-N-A-I-S. Tu connais la tour Eiffel. Right, so it's actually a question. Tu connais la tour Eiffel? Intonation. Okay, so oui, je connais la tour Eiffel. Okay, or oui, je la connais. Okay, so when you use a pronoun. Fine. So second one. Il ne dash pas comment épeler mon nom. Okay, so il ne pas comment épeler mon nom. Épeler, which means to spell. Spell my name. How to spell my name. Okay, so here if you see, so you got a verb. Okay, so after, so do not consider comma. So even if you remove this comma, the meaning of the sentence doesn't change. Okay, so we'll be using the verb savoir because you got an infinitive form. Il ne sait pas comment épeler mon nom. Okay, il ne sait pas, S-A-I-T, S-A-I-T, comment épeler mon nom. Even you can write il ne sait pas épeler mon nom. Okay, he doesn't know to spell my name. Okay, so but write as it is. Okay, the question. Il ne sait pas comment épeler mon nom. And the third one. Nous dash nager. So if you see it, again we got a verb in infinitive form. Nager, which means to swim. It's a G-E-R ending verb like manger. Right? So nous savons nager. Right? Nous savons nager. Okay, so we know to swim. Okay, so or we know how to swim. Right? So the D, the last before one. Vous dash le résultat. Okay, so le résultat. So it's given and it's a noun. It's not a verb. So what verb will be using? So it's actually the verb connaître. Okay. So vous connaissez le résultat. Okay. Vous connaissez le résultat. So it means you know the result. Okay. Connaissez. Okay. So vous connaissez. Connaissez. So la dernière, the last one. Elle dash ses leçons par cœur. Okay, so she dash her lessons. Par cœur means by heart. Okay, by heart. Okay, so whenever you're learning something by heart, okay, so we use the verb connaître. Whenever you know something by heart, okay, so we'll be using the verb connaître. Okay, so ses leçons anyway, it's actually a noun. Okay, so elle connaît ses leçons par cœur. Okay, so she knows. Okay, elle connaît ses leçons par cœur. Okay, so she knows her lessons by heart. Yeah, so now we'll check the answers. Please check the spellings when you're writing. Okay, so do not make any mistakes. Tu connais la tour Eiffel. Il ne sait pas comment épeler mon nom. Nous savons nager. Vous connaissez le résultat. Elle connaît ses leçons par cœur. Right? So, yeah, so now actually we'll stop with this. Okay. So because we got future prosh and the exercises with it. So in the next session we'll see the future prosh and the exercises, and then we'll see the article partitive. Okay, so article partitive and so imperative also, right? So yeah, thank you so much. On continue, we'll continue.